I'm seeing red.
That's right. Blackhawks, baby!
I vote for the Blackhawks just because they have the coolest jersey.
Can you vote? Can you vote for the Stanley Cup champion? Cool!
I vote for the Stanley Cup champion Blackhawks, but let's not talk Blackhawks.
Let's talk Rowdy.com.
Yes.
Big three. The three major issues in your NASCAR today. I am Buzz Cutler. That is Buck Fever. And Buck...
That?
This thing over here, this thing right here is Buck Fever. I thought we would talk a little bit about this Kyle Busch, Jeff Burton contretemps.
You know,
because I just went downstairs before this video and I rewatched the incident about 3 or 4 times.
Right.
You've reviewed the video.
I've watched it like 10 times.
So what is your conclusion after having watched the video?
Okay, I got 2 conclusions. I think Kyle Busch got a whale of a restart. I think Clint Bowyer checked up a little bit, and the combination was a little bit of a poo-paw here. Jeff Burton getting so angry and really just calling Kyle Busch out and saying he will not tolerate it. For this specific incident, I don't understand why Jeff Burton is so upset. It looks to me like it's just a racing deal.
I watched the video and it looked to me like Matt Kenseth, who was ahead of Kyle Busch, went low, leaving Kyle Busch sort of there in the middle. And as they went around the turn, should Kyle Busch have held the middle line? Maybe not. But you know, during the turn, Jeff Burton came down and sort of came down onto Kyle Busch. Was it Kyle Busch's fault? Was it Jeff Burton's fault? I don't think that matters, because I think the reason Jeff Burton got so upset is it is cumulative.
Yes.
Right? And Kyle Busch, the way he conducts himself, the way he races, and yes, his aggression means that he doesn't get the benefit of the doubt. He doesn't get a free pass at something like this, and the cumulative effect means Jeff Burton called him out whether or not this particular incident was Kyle's fault or whether he deserved to be called out for this particular incident isn't really the issue. The issue is that Kyle Busch's pattern of behavior has brought this to a head.
We're in violent agreement. Issue 2.
Issue 2. Red Bull Racing is doing some Super Bowl shuffling. I mean, crew chief shuffling. They're taking Ryan Pemberton and moving Ryan Pemberton to Scott Speed and taking Scott Speed and moving taking Jimmy Elledge and moving Jimmy Elledge over to Casey Mears. Is this going to make any difference for anybody?
I doubt it, but I sure hope so for Casey Mears, because I like Casey Mears and it's his last best shot he's ever going to have, so you might as well try it. I guess it's what do we expect out of Casey and Scott? Do we expect top 10s? Hopefully it'll generate top 10s for those guys.
Here's the deal. Casey Mears obviously was with Jimmy Elledge over at Chip Ganassi Racing, and the only sort of thing that I can figure around this is, yeah, I mean, obviously they have a familiarity, they know how to talk to one another, and that'll bode well for the team. But remember that when Casey Mears was with Ganassi, his career was still on the upswing, right? There was a positive vibe around Casey Mears. It wasn't until he got over to Hendrick Motorsports that he really plummeted and sort of became a washout, and then, of course, with Richard Childress. And so the fact that he is sort of being reunited with Jimmy Elledge and a guy that he had a positive vibe going with, maybe that'll help. I think Casey Mears needs to count his lucky stars that he even has this opportunity.
You got it.
So if this helps him make something of it, all the better. I'm not holding my breath.
Violent agreement for the second time.
Well, I hope we disagree on issue number 3. There's been a lot of talk over at Rowdy.com about NASCAR's environmental impact, and I sort of was the catalyst for all that talk. Obviously, NASCAR is extremely detrimental to the environment.
Everything these days is detrimental to the freaking environment. The environment's like the most damn fragile thing in the world. I mean, my God, I take a pee outdoors now and I'm in trouble.
All right.
It's ridiculous.
That was an overshare.
Sorry. You know what? The humans must go, because we're all bad for the environment.
Well, and that's the point I made in my blog. If you haven't read my blog from yesterday, go check it out, because the point I made is that, sure, NASCAR is bad for the environment, but it's no worse for the environment than Major League Baseball or the NFL or the NHL. I mean, just think about how much air conditioning is required to cool the ice down when a hockey team or like the Chicago Blackhawks is playing. So yes, NASCAR is bad for the environment. So are rock concerts. So the question isn't, are these things bad for the environment? The question is, what do you do about them? And I think NASCAR is actually being fairly proactive about trying to reduce or negate as much as possible their carbon footprint.
It's like Iron Maiden, NASCAR, Iron Maiden, NASCAR. You could get, which one's worse?
Iron Maiden. That's a no-brainer, dude.
They're a bit of a character.
Judas Priest.
Oh my
Molly
God.
Hatchet.
Molly Hatchet.
Does Molly Hatchet have some cool sign? Molly, hatchet. All right,
Molly.
well, this was not a very exciting big three because we agreed on everything.
Oh, I hate you.
I hate you too.
All right, come to rowdy.com where there's a lot of hating going on.
We hate all of you.
Rowdy.com. Say it like it is.
Say what like it is?
Rowdy.com.